Hi. Very strange light, isn't it? Um, I was going to talk about the risks we take by relapsing and the huge, huge risk we take. It's not good. Hi, Sub. How you doing? Nice to see you. How you doing? Good day. It's good that it's getting a little bit lighter, isn't it? I know it's a little bit nasty weather. It's getting a bit lighter. Charlie Duck. Hiya, Charlie. I haven't seen you for a while. Got 10 people on already. That's amazing, really. It's I think I'm going to talk about tonight is the risks we take. Um, and that's when we go back to the drink. We know that we're doing ourselves harm. We still go back to it. I wonder why that is. We know that. So I can't work it out. Even the doctors can't. Um, just trying to follow it out. Why do we go back? A lot of people say, I wonder why I took the risk again, but you do, don't you? I think because you think you're going to be all right. Take care. How you doing? Nice to see you. Hi, Christopher. Good evening, Steve, and all. I hope you're well and have a good day. All have a great day. Yeah, thanks. Paul Power. How are you? Everyone's fine, like. Hello, Dennis. Good evening. How are you doing? Just to have a bit of an open chat here. What I was going to talk about here, and obviously you talk about it as well. Why do we keep going back to something which is so risky? I said, my dad's outside in the car having a crafty smoke. Don't blame you. Take it easy. Nice for living, isn't it? Living like kings, we aren't we? We have all these warning signs. We have people who've had liver transplants, a very dangerous operation, obviously, 12, 16-hour operation to transplant liver. And then they'll go back in the booze again. I can't think of anything else which is so risky and you put your life in the line just for a few minutes, few hours maybe. You're feeling euphoric. It's actually incredible, isn't it? How we put ourselves at risk like that. There's no need to. And as I did a little short today, where the lie is we're kidded by people. You must drink so you can have. You must drink so you can have a good relationship, a good social life, a nice rest, chill out. You can do all of the things, the good things in life when you're sober, and they're all better sober. We know that, don't we? As the come here, how Stephen, have you ever met an unhappy sober person? Because I have never met an unhappy sober person. A lot of miserable drunken people, a lot of miserable people who can't get out of the trap. But if you have, harmed, everyone I know who's especially been through addiction and managed to come out the other end, as it were, and in recovery sort of thing, they're all pretty happy. Because when you're feeling really ill and you have been extremely ill, as I was at one time, then every day is a bonus. So I haven't actually seen any unhappy sober people. I've seen a lot of unhappy people who have drunk their life away and are now disabled through it, or they've got no money, or they've lost their wife, or they lost a house, or they lost a girlfriend, whatever it is, because alcohol will take everything away from you. There'll be a lot of unhappy people who are drinking, or did drink, who are 6 foot under. So no, I haven't met any miserable sober people. I'm unable to comment as I am 17 months sober and relapse hasn't been part of my process. It was just a general chat, really, because I think people have been through all sorts of trauma with alcohol and recovery. There's still a risk of going back, isn't there? And that's something you wouldn't contemplate with anything else, any other sort of illness or sort of disease, really. But I understand what you're saying. You're doing well there, 17 months. It's fantastic news. We're here to help you get people sober, get people healthy. And that's the main focus here. But there's a lot of different problems related to alcohol rather than just liver disease, pancreatitis, and all that sort of thing. You've got your general health, how you feel. I don't think you feel particularly well, even if you're just a moderate drinker. you've got the odd headache and dry mouth and all this sort of thing. You never feel particularly good. But when you get sober, particularly sober, and you're focused on it, and you focus on your health, then you definitely feel better overall, and good things tend to happen. It's not a look thing. You're looking after your body. If you start looking after your body, it'll fight for you, Because my friends have relapsed and felt they could drink normally, of course, they were proved horribly wrong. Yeah, I don't know anybody personally who's actually had a massive drink problem and then gone back to it and been all right. All struggled, and some have struggled so long they couldn't get back. Hey, Red Tiger, how you doing? So yeah, we take huge risks. We've done lots of stupid things. I imagine most of us, but we do learn from mistakes. With alcohol, a lot of people don't learn from the mistakes, do they? They just keep going on and on and on, and that causes so many issues, doesn't it? When you relapse, because you're not going to get back to square one again. It's always going to be a problem. It's always going to be a problem. And excuse me. It's easy to forget about and dismiss the bad times when you feel well again. You really have to condition yourself. Yeah, you've got to have that thought in your head every day, haven't you? And I've said a lot of times in here, if you do think about it and you do think, oh, I feel a bit better now, I'm going to go back to the booze, I'm a bit bored, whatever. Try and fast forward the tape to how well you were. That always brings me back. I would hate to end up in hospital again with the problems I had and how unwell I felt. I was totally, on death's door. As a few of us have been here. And yeah, we've got people who've had all sorts of problems with mental institutions, and people have had liver transplants, and there's all sorts of people. And some are just sort of teetering on the edge of addiction, some are just heavy drinkers, Toblerone, when you realised, why did you end up in hospital? Because I couldn't get off it. I self-medicated for 5 years, you see. And then my liver failed, basically. About only 1% of people, less than 1% of people come back from what I did, because I had decompensated liver cirrhosis, which means I had ascites fluid and spontaneous bacterial peritonitis, which can kill you. It's quite a high mortality rate, and 6 to 12 months lifespan from when you diagnose those two things. But my liver fought back somehow. I don't know how it did, and it became compensated. It didn't just stabilize as decompensated, it became compensated, which is very unusual, apparently. So, Christopher, you must be one of the lucky ones not relapsing. You got off lately. Yeah, I relaxed 4 or 5 times, and each one was worse. That's the thing with relapsing. You feel worse every time. It gets to the point where you can't cope. You just can't cope. It's not a good place to be. Trust me, but any other risky sport, any other risky thing, that's what people do. Risky sports and activities for maybe the job or income or something, but we do in the knowledge that we're probably going to be badly off at the end of it. Most risky sports don't end in death. Some people, yeah, but the amount of people who drink too much and carry on drinking, the death rate is very, very high. You don't see many alcoholics who live past 60. I think the average age for an alcoholic death was around about 52, 53. With some things like cirrhosis, pancreatitis. Obviously, you've got your heart problems and all sorts of things linked into it. And, it's a hard thing to get your head around. That you might kind of die from it, but you still do it. Or because of that little buzz in the pub, and it's a very bizarre thing how it would get you to the point that, there's no such thing as a functioning alcoholic. You can function to a degree, but you're still controlled by the alcohol, if that makes sense. So it's a bad do, the whole lot of it. We alone cannot change it. All we can do is look after ourselves, and that's what you've got to focus on. Chris, it cost me too much in many aspects that led me to 12 months rehabilitation. Yeah, that's a long time, isn't it? I don't want to destroy the health and life I have worked hard to achieve. Yeah, exactly. Think about that, Think about what you're destroying. It's so easy to get yourself in a mess. It's very quick to take you down, and you become completely paralyzed by it, really. But when I was younger, I was obsessed by it. I thought, God, have a drink. Even before I was ill, really. It was part of life, and it was an exciting part of life. As you get older, that excitement wanes, isn't it? It's not exciting anymore. It becomes a chain around your neck, really, and you can't live well if you drink all the time. It's an impossibility. Nobody does. But it affects everything, like I say. You look old, you feel rough, there's a lot of sugar and alcohol. It just destroys your body, basically, doesn't it? And then you get off it for a while. A lot of people get off for a while and then they go back. You think once you've broken your leg twice, you wouldn't go back, would you, for another break? But we do try. You think, oh, I might do it this time, might be all right. And we know the evidence is there. We know the odds are stacked massively against us ever being able to drink socially, as it were. We still try it. It's the most bizarre thing. It's bemused. I just kind of get my head around it. That's I can't even say the words really. I just kind of work it out. Hello, Brian. How are you doing? I walked past the Wetherspoons today. I was intrigued by the number of miserable men sat nursing their cheap pints. Yeah, that's exactly it, Brian. Miserable as sin, aren't they? I mean, what a life! What a life! It's 90% middle-aged men, isn't it? Who are skint, and they go from there maybe to the bookies and back. I'll pop into the Wetherspoons, yeah. Now and again, see a couple of people. Not that I go in very much now, really, because they seem to be very, very jealous of the fact that I've got myself sober for whatever reason. They've been very unhelpful, to be fair. And the same people in the same seats, same times of the day, and they do look rough. They look paid off for life, and they don't look very happy. They don't look very well. They don't walk particularly well. They don't eat well. They don't do anything well. They're sitting there. It's God's waiting room, isn't it? And some of them are only 40 years old. It's actually horrendous. I was looking. The odds are massively stacked against us. We have so many distractions these days. The youth looks so ill. I know it's a very, very stressful time at the moment, isn't it? And then you've got all the other things on top of that what's happening in the world. It's going to be a tough few years with AI, and I've mentioned before, and maybe some job losses coming in and all that sort of thing. So you've got to be very aware of this. And become the best version of yourself you can, and become the fittest as well and healthiest. But that's really about to fight off other things, isn't it? Life seemed more simple years ago, didn't it? And it's not just me saying that. A lot of people have said that. It seemed to be less stressful. Life seemed to be more pleasant. There wasn't this sort of hunger for instant gratification, shall we say, and all this social media stuff causes problems. People think, oh, everyone lives in a motor yacht in the Caribbean. I've made it and all. Look after yourself, that's the key. Look after your health. And if you can't look after your sobriety, you can't look after your health. Because with us, sweet drink, we're gone away, we're knackered. Hi Samantha, how are you doing? Nice to see you. Snooker. You think, Stephen, it's the same with smoking. I have known people who have undergone therapy, cancer due to smoking, and still carry on with it, drinking the same dance. Addiction is a terrible curse. Yeah, it is true, isn't it? We go back to it. Hi, Samantha. Steve, hi, chat. Got quite a few people on here tonight, which is good for Tuesday. We've been doing them last 5 days and had quite a lot of got a few newbies in and out. If you don't want to chat, you don't need to just have a listen. Getting back to the sugars and alcohol. Sugar can cause diabetes as well. A lot of alcoholics or problem drinkers tend to develop diabetes, which is obviously another complication. Gareth, hi Steve, great chat again, mate. Thanks, Gareth. Hope you're well. And if you know anybody else who's interested in this sort of thing, get them on here and come on, have a little view and maybe a chat. There's a lot of sugar and alcohol, a lot of bad things about it. So, as I said before, it's not just your liver, your pancreas can be affected. Once you get pancreatic cancer, you're gone, really, aren't you? About 5% chance of coming back from that. A lot of people forget about that, and obviously the blood pressure side of things, and the associated cancers, mouth cancer, throat cancer, and so on. It's not enough for the faint-hearted, is it? And that's what I mean about the risk. We know these things, but the brain just ticks in or clicks in and says, "I'll be all right. For a few drinks, I'll be fine." And you're not. Believe me, you're not. Getting back to me, that's another question about hangovers. Did I get hangovers all the time? I used to drink with quite a lot of colleagues, quite heavily. Some would say they didn't get hangovers. I don't believe them, because most people get hangovers. just because of the effects of the alcohol in the body. And when your hangovers turn to withdrawals, then you're in a real mess. When you're starting to need a drink one, want one, and then you're starting to go the hair of the dog. I've been speaking to quite a lot of people on these one-to-one mentoring sessions that I do who have started to take me a bottle of beer into work or a bottle of spirit into work, had a drink before they get to work. Then when the withdrawals start to kick in again about 11 o'clock, they'll have another little sip of beer or wine or whatever they drink. And then when you get into that, it's very dangerous territory because you're basically just topping up all the time to try and take the pain of the withdrawal away or the hangover. Gareth, at least I have lived through the 1980s. In my 20s, I can never be taken no matter what the future holds for me. Good time in the 80s, wasn't it? And 90s. Things have gone downhill really for a lot of people, I think. Since then, the society's changed. There's a lot of selfish people. It's difficult to find good people, I feel. The UK has gone downhill. Maybe the world has. Look at the US as well. That's in the mess, isn't it? So right today, youth, obesity, no exercise, internet, low immune system, lack of social skills, 60s, 70s babies, best time to be born. It's funny, I was talking to my partner the other day about this. Kids need to be out and about. Kids need to, get dirty, as it were, and get this immune system built up. But this constant ferrying of children backwards and forwards to school, then straight onto a tablet, it's causing a lot of problems with youth. You're right. They'll be coming for work soon, or employment, and they're going to be stuck. They can't get it using machines to do everything, so the brain becomes lazy, doesn't it? And then, like you say, obesity kicks in. Can't be bothered to do things, can't get a job, and then you get into the depression side of it, and then you get, alcohol's so easy to get, and you get more drinkers. So I think the alcohol problem is getting worse, not better. Because if you look at the statistics, more deaths, especially amongst women. Because women are drinking more now. You've got to be very careful with that. So yeah, getting back to these guys I'm talking about, I won't name them obviously. There's more people topping up drinking at work and things like that. I think a lot of this may be kicked off during COVID as well, when people were able to just have a drink in the morning because they were just on a computer like this. They weren't having to get up and go to work. Nobody would see them. They wouldn't have to speak to them. They wouldn't be able to tell them how to drink. And it was sort of hidden curse, really, wasn't it? And a lot of people passed away during COVID because they were drinking too much in a big, they're drinking large quantities in a short time. They've been social drinkers and they suddenly turned into massive drinkers because they had all this time, nothing else to do, working from home, a bit paid off for life, couldn't go out for walk, whatever it is. And a lot of people died during that time purely because of the big hit from alcohol, just too much too quickly. Whereas, other problem drinkers a bit later in life will develop some problem. It's a massive hit for people. And, different cancers came along. And it's a changed society now. But it does weave its way into all aspects of your life. Once you get in a mess with it, and anxiety kicks in. It's horrendous. I was speaking to a chap today. He gets anxiety from it as well. A lot of people get anxiety before they have any physical problems. So, the mental health side of it is extremely important. And, it's so difficult to try and turn this around once you get into it. That's the problem. It's past the point of no return. When you get past the point of no return, that's the way it was worded. You can return. I've recovered. Samara's recovered, so it can be done, but it's very difficult when you get past that point. When you know you've got a problem. When you wake up one day and you can't function properly. That's very dangerous, Gareth, best music in the 1980s. The youngsters now love the music from then. Yeah, it was good music, wasn't it? I played in the band, actually. Sort of, was it? Early 80s, yeah, was it? As Lockham, I feel most people who have addictions have built their lives through the process of being addicted and socializing to the point where it feels normal and becomes their identity. Definitely, yeah, not a doubt. Because it seems to be, or was the norm, to get a 15, 16 of a drink, wasn't it? And you use it. People still do now, let's be fair. There's lots of pubs around. I know there's a lot of pubs closing. There's a hell of a lot of pubs opening as well. Or restaurants, under the guise of the restaurants and cocktail bars and all this carry on. And there's still plenty of people buying booze at this bar. You rarely see a trolley full of food like booze in it. It's only me and the other folk who don't buy it. Most people buy drinks and food at the same time, unless they're super health conscious, whatever partner is. But most people have drinks, don't they? Well, Brian, in COVID, my wife set up various home deliveries for groceries. I immediately ordered a garage full of wine. There you go, see? Crazy, isn't it? I mean, I used to get drinks from Dial a Drink years and years ago, it's 20 years ago. But I mean, COVID was the time I was in hospital, so I didn't really see that. But it became massive. It still is massive now, isn't it? People dropping drinks off. Ralph, did you get wet lung or wet brain, Steve? No, I didn't get any of those. I had problems with my liver, base, that was it. Unfortunately, my kidneys held up and everything else. And I managed to turn it around. But the reason I turned it around, one of the main reasons, is go from decompensate to compensate. I stopped drinking straight away. And a lot of people don't stop drinking straight away. They'll be treated, get rid of maybe the fluid they've got and all this sort of thing, get sorted out. A couple of months later, they'll go back to it. I've got a friend who was in hospital around the same time as me, about 10 years younger. He went back to drinking on his last legs, unfortunately. So, if you are ill with it, or you need help from medics or something, if you're actually hospitalised, you've got to listen to these guys and women. They don't say, and I'll say it to you as well. If you drink again, if you drink too much, you drink for a long period of time, you will die early. And I've got the other made. I mean, if you drink again, you'll be dead in 6 months. So I didn't drink again. And that gave the liver, there's enough liver of most people, even at the last stages, to recover if you don't keep injuring it with alcohol. And then you can bolt onto that your health surrounded by, good food and good rest and plenty of hydration. Log all these things, bolt them all on together, and you can recover. That's the main thing. Don't give up. A lot of people give up, you say, and just go, just give up and go to the pub. I've got to die of something. Well, I don't want to die yet. Nobody wants to die. Keep that in your head. Every time you think, just have one, I'll be all right. Even I thought of that a couple of years ago. I haven't recently, I have to say, but a couple of years after getting well again, I started going on holiday on my own, about 2021-ish, late then, 22. I thought I was thinking, well, just have one, what it's like. Even though I've been through hell in hospital, but I didn't. So I knew that if I had one on the beach, I'd have one 10 on the plane, So that's the key. You've got to remember how ill you were, and how badly it's going to affect your health. Because without your health, you're really knackered, aren't you? And I hate to go back to those days of anxiety, sitting in the underground thinking, what if I stand up, will I fall over? And the dizziness and the nausea, and the days where I'd wake up. When you're active addiction, you can't keep anything down. Even water, milk, I should try and drink milk, I'd just be sick straight away. You can't keep anything down until you maybe have a little bit of alcohol, and even then you can just be sick again. I remember going to a pub early in the morning in Soho, and I'd been really ill. I was living on my own for a little while, and I've been drinking a lot. And I forget, it was a Saturday morning, it was quite cold during winter time. There's a pub called John Snow, just off Berwick Street Market, if anybody knows Soho. And I walked in there. When you go to a pub early in the morning, there was no Wetherspoon then. Shows you how long ago it is. There's this smell of disinfectant and all that sort of thing. And I didn't really fancy drink. I thought I need one just to get me around, And I don't know, to sip of this booze, and I got a little bit down. And I took a little bit of a gulp, and I was sick all over the table. How embarrassing, you know what I'm saying? That's just one little incident. And, you end up falling asleep in places and doorways and going to bed and waking up, you don't know whether it's day or night, that sort of thing, what time it is, you don't know what day it is. I just remember going to the newsagents trying to find a newspaper to see what day it was. I mean, it's horrific, isn't it? What we go through, what we do, and we take the risk again and again. Now, I'm not stupid. None of us are stupid on here. But why do we think we can beat this when we've tried so many times? You can't. It's like walking up a hill and you keep getting pushed back. Why? You wouldn't do it again, would you? You wouldn't keep putting your hand in the fire, but with addiction, it's very difficult not to do it again and again. Hope you benefit from these lives. If you do, please hit the super chat button if you want, and the Buy Me Cover link's on the right here. The more support we get, the more we can do for you. I hope people get something out of these. It's certainly good to have a group chat, I think, every now and again. I've been doing quite a few because I'm going to be away in a couple of weeks, so I thought I'd get a few things underway and answer a few questions we've got. So that's a question here: alcohol and mental health. Well, thanks, Dave, for that coffee. Appreciate that. Alcohol and mental health. Okay, mine was basically anxiety. I didn't get depressed particularly, but I got extremely anxious about very small things, and you overthink. A lot of us overthink, and that's a really bad issue because you think everything's going to go wrong, and a lot of people have this. Well, I did impending doom that nothing's going to go right, and so you worry about every letter, everything that comes in, through the post, just everything. Anybody knocks on the door, every time you see somebody, you become paranoid. You won't go in the same shop to get your alcohol. You feel horrendous when you're trying to do any travel. You just can't do anything. So what it does isolates you in the end. And you either ended up getting a taxi to the pub, being unwell in the pub, not even able to get in the pub really, just sort of staggering about. You've not had enough much to drink because when you get really ill with it, your liver becomes very sensitive and you can't do much at all. And you don't want to go about that. You've got to focus. I know it's a bit, well, near the end of January, isn't it? People are a bit pissed off with all life and it's a long month and all that. But unless you focus on this, you're going to slip back into it. And then by summertime, you'll be in a mess again. And you can't afford to do that. None of us can. We've got to keep pushing it all the time. It has to be in your brain. You have to focus on it. It's like anything, isn't it? You can't be an athlete unless you train every day. This is the way you've got to train your brain to stay off it. I'm not going to drink it. No chance I'm going to drink. TK, did you know the locals in the John store? It was my mum's work local when she worked at the film studios. Oh, you mentioned that. No, I didn't really know the locals. It was a Sam Smith's, probably say. So it was quite good because it was quite good price in there. A bit like the Weatherspoons of today, really. Sam Smith's in the centre of London. TK, did you know the locals in the store? So I didn't know the locals, but I knew the pub quite well. It was just around the corner where I lived. And if I was so anxious that I went shopping at midnight but needed alcohol to make me more confident to go. I used to have a similar, try and get alcohol to get me out. I'd have alcohol before I went any function. I'm talking about even late 20s, 30s, I had a problem, really. But I kept fighting it, You're more robust than, aren't you? And if the anxiety is horrific. Brian, once went out for an early doors pint without the keys. Got locked out when I returned at 1 a.m. Had to sleep in the windy. Woke up nearly hypothermic. Horrendous. It's a good story, Brian, but it's horrible, isn't it? Go for an early pint in the end. Hours and hours, days later, even in a mess. Crackers, isn't it? The story. You've got any stories, but man, they can be amusing now. We're over it, but they're a good warning to other people who are just on the edge, as it were. Xander, it's a cruel dichotomy. You don't want to focus on it. You want to shun the negative temptations, but you can't because that's how it gets with a sneak attack. It does, man. Very good point there. Sneaks up on you, doesn't it? So we're on the same old pathetic routine. Wake up, vomit, green bile, then nurse the vodka and coke down over the sink until the booze kicked in. Become a slave to alcohol that told me what to do. That's it. You do become a slave to it, don't you? It's the best way of putting it. It's the worst thing I can think of that ever happened to me to start a drink. It just became vile. That's the way I describe my existence was vile. It wasn't even an existence, really. I didn't live properly. I felt unwell all the time. And you become a slave, yeah. So I just had my hands on each side of the sink and I used to shake. Just cough the bile up, cough it up. God. I used to think I was going to die. But some days I didn't care if I died. That's how bad it was. Until the doctors told me in the hospital. When I got to hospital, I sort of livened a bit. I thought, wow, I've got a chance. Because I thought before that, when I was just living in the flat, I just thought I'm going to die. That's it. I don't have the energy to think about living, to be honest. That's how bad it got. It's a horrendous place to be. And that's the sort of message I'm handing out to people here. It's a horrendous place to be. Just thinking you're going to drift through life and have a few drinks, no chance. And no chance of going back in it. So just close the door on it. Focus every day. If you leave a day, even you think about it, you'll slip back at relapse. It's very quick. You've got to focus on it all the time. You've got to be aware of it all the time. It's so easy to just walk into that pub, to get on the computer and just order booze. Just do it on your phone, can't you? You don't even need to leave the house now. Years ago, when I had to go for a walk, I always make sure I had a stash the next day when I woke up, so I'd get more stash. If that makes sense. So you prepare a day in advance to have some drink to make sure you haven't got any, don't get too low in the morning. But as the night goes on, you think, "Oh, just have another one." You leave it so very little, just in the margins. We'll have enough to get to the shop. I want to drink, so we get to the shop, we get more, and that's panic. So you don't sleep properly. You never sleep properly as an alcoholic. Never. Well, I didn't. Don't, as someone sober, do you think you drank beyond just your alcohol addiction mentally? May, that's a good point. Yeah, good point. That I think you drank beyond. I think so. Maybe so. When the addiction gets you, then you give up, and then you become mentally distraught by it all. Really. Yes, man, it's sort of something in my life that. Well, I was just on the beers, but I used to often have a couple of sips of Stella and just be sick. I was being sick. Was only there really. I didn't eat. I don't know if anybody else was the same, but you become very malnourished when you drink alcohol in excess. You know, you can't survive long with just alcohol. It's incredible. On most are extreme over a mental issue to start. Um, Maybe. I think I used to enjoy drinking. Wasn't it? I didn't have any problems really, but I had problems when I was drinking too much. If that makes sense. Um, so sleep was the biggest issue for me with painkillers. Yeah, I could endure the day, I could endure work, but when it came to trying to get some rest, when I caved in, really, yeah, I didn't know that. That's not good, that is it? There's all sorts of reasons why we hit the booze. Hi, Urban. I see you. How are you? Yeah, it's not a good thing. Sleep. A lot of people have problems when they get sober as well, not sleeping. I still don't like going to bed early, but once I'm asleep, I'm not too bad. Dylan, it's hard for me to stop because the head comes back tormenting me. You've got to put the brakes on that though, and realise you're going to be very ill. You may not be here next year. It can catch up with you very quickly. This, and if you get to a point where you're not focused on it, you'd end up back to square one. That's what happened to me, and I really focused. But sometimes things are beyond your control, and you have to really work hard at that to stay sober. Because we all have problems. When you're sober, you have just as many problems, but you can cope with them. But when you're drinking, every small problem becomes a large problem. Then you get another large problem on top of that, and it compounds, you see. And then if you've got anxiety, that gets worse. Overthinking gets worse, and your whole life just crumbles. Basically, is the best way to put it. Um, you have no life. You merely exist. To be fair, and that's when you hit the rock bottom. But like I said before, you don't have to hit my rock bottom. You've got your own rock bottom, haven't you? Which hopefully isn't as bad as mine. So trust me, the demon is slayable. It's a tough battle, my friend. You need support. Yeah, I agree with that. I mean, I got support from the hospital. I was dying in hospital, but after that, I didn't get any support. I mean, I have now. I've got a fantastic partner, but I didn't at the time. At that time, I just had to think, well, I can't drink anymore. But after that message from the doctor, then I knew I wasn't going to survive if I kept drinking. Hello, Glenn Seward. How are you doing? Nice to see you, Glenn. Christopher Hughes, you and Steve, I hope you're well. Very well, Chris. Thanks. Don't we all eventually end up with the same physical condition as the path the illness takes? You're right there, yeah. The mental thing, wow, for me, with the anxiety, was horrific. Don't come over alcohol issues are worse than just being addicted, in my opinion. Yeah, I understand what you're saying. Yeah, there's more to it, isn't there? But I think initially, for me, it was what I enjoyed, then it was a habit, then it was addiction. There was any other reason than that, really. I used to enjoy it, and then I think when the point came for me when I started to think I need a drink to get over the shakes and stuff like that, I was really gone. I should have got more help. I tried to, because at least they're giving you pills out there. It's much harder now to get off alcohol with the help of the medics than it used to be. It was quite simple years ago. You had the doctor said you drink too much, they give you some medication called diazepam or something similar, to stop the withdrawals, to stop seizures, and you felt pretty good after 7 days. Then to stop that and everything fell to bits, in my opinion. And if waiting outside the shop at 5:45, waiting for it to open at 6, well, just for a can to clear the fog. It's a horrible and hard addiction to manage. I work 50 hours a week now. It's easier working. It's much easier to work and have 12 kids than it is to drink. It's. I look back and think, how did I work through that working shift in central London and drink? I don't know how I did it. You have to be very mentally tough to do that. And also to hide the booze, you become very tolerant to it, don't you? You become very good at hiding it from your colleagues. Whether people knew, or, I mean, people say to me now, I didn't realise you were drinking so much. Well, there was a big drinking culture in the 80s and 90s anyway. I mean, a lot of people were affected by it. It's such hard work, yeah. Such hard work, then. If anybody wants to drop a super chat in, then please do. Support the channel or buy me coffee links on the right there. Thanks for all your support this last few days. Dylan Nix, sorry. Like drinking because you're an addict versus drinking to silence a voice tormenting you. One is going to be way more fine and sobriety. Well, of course, yeah, definitely. Like someone I said, we're all going to end up in this with the same sort of things going on. But I think the anxiety led me to drink more. I think it's a similar pattern for a lot of people. That when you're anxious, you drink more, and then the cycle starts, and you kind of just can't get off the roundabout, can you? It's just on and on and on and on. Every day gets worse, worse and worse and worse. There's a number of factors why there's more alcoholics, and I think one of the big factors is there's not enough help at first point of contact. They give you a number. There's a local community centre or whatever it's called, or the place where people go, and it's not good that for people. The AA was not good for me. I needed some guidance stronger than that. I needed some medication. That's what I needed. A lot of people are like that, and that's why people are passing away. It's very difficult to get any rehab. It's very difficult to get any meds for this. And this fallacy, I call it the fallacy, I don't know, very few people taper off. When the doctor says you have to taper off and don't just stop. What are you going to do when you taper off to 2 drinks? You've got to keep tapering off, haven't you? That doesn't work for most people. So what do you do next? Just go through it all and have a seizure. It's a joke, isn't it? Like my OCD tells me I'm evil. I wouldn't even call that anxiety a drunk to make that stop. Yeah, it's the anxiety is a bad thing, isn't it? OCD, a lot of us are OCD. I think a lot of us are born with ADHD with all these different things coming up. It just means you're a bit crackers, I think. But I was always switching things off and on, or and off. Making go about the house 3 times, make sure I'd lock the door. All that sort of business when I was in my late 20s, maybe. Why was it like that? That's not normal, is it? Not normal behaviour. Brian, did anyone else send stupid text or emails with inebriated? I thought it would be funny next year I was embarrassed. It might be before your time, but Brian, I just had a page years ago and didn't really send stupid texts. I had a really bad relapse between 2014 and 19. Mobile phones were there, but I didn't really bother with anybody. But I would have done. I think I made some stupid phone calls, which is probably similar. The OCD stuff, the ADHD. I imagine a lot of people made stupid emails, texts, whatever, Brian, without a doubt. Because, it's a mind-altering drug, isn't it? Loads of inhibitions, and it causes so many problems. It causes a lot of problems domestically. Look how many people have, divorces have come out of alcohol. People having affairs, and people getting into a mess, and all this sort of thing. It's an evil thing. Families broken apart by it. Paul Cockrell, post-alcohol withdrawal, pause, is bad too. You can still have anxiety for weeks or months after stopping. Yeah, I had a little bit of that, Paul. I know people have still got it after a long time. Stefania, yes, on horrible Facebook posts. Dylan, I can't deal with post alcohol withdrawal. Yeah, it must be horrific that, because you're constantly on this worry wheel, aren't you? That's what I would call it. I mean, I was always a bit of a worrier. My mother always says, she's still alive. My mother's 94, but you were a worrier. She said, you were a worrier. Whether I was or not, I don't know. And people with ADHD and other personality disorders are more prone to becoming addicts. There you go. I thought so. Yeah. The only disorder I had was being too kind, I think. helpful. But maybe I had the ADHD. I was always very busy, always very ambitious. At school, I joined loads of different clubs now. Didn't want to be sitting around. TK, I used to hate that short window of first waking up and knowing you've got about 20 minutes to have a drink to stop withdrawal kicking in. Never again. It's horrible, isn't it? We can't go back to it. Then I have ADHD and OCD and I'm waiting for rehab. Is that NHS rehab? Because I know a couple of people up here have been waiting for months and they've gone downhill, unfortunately, because of that. They can't get any medication, can't get any rehab. I mean, there is paid rehab, but most people can't afford that, unfortunately. I know there's some work being done by the government at the moment with the NHS about why heroin users and mainly, other drug users, other types of drug users get more help first point of contact than alcoholics do. We're sort of pushed aside a little bit. There's a community sending them, but there's the tapering off idea, that sort of thing. Dylan, Ireland, that's good. Ireland's slightly different to the rest of the UK. Then. Stefania, I am only on Messenger now because of it. Just have to get away from social media, remove all social media apps except YouTube. Yeah, that's a good idea, isn't it? If you don't want to upset anybody. But first thing you got to do is get yourself well. When you get yourself well, then all these other things won't happen. And if you don't have the first drink, you won't get drunk, will you? That's the thing to remember as well. I think that first one that sets it all off. Dylan said he's had to do the same to himself off social media. It's fair too, isn't it? It's causing the issues. Can't be on it. I'd make sure of myself everywhere else. I think I probably did that in a physical way, not before social media. But I never got in any trouble with it. As in, it really bother. I never got any real injuries, anything like that. No. The only time I ever fell down with it was when I was in hospital. But everyone's got a different story, haven't they, with it all? Everyone has a different experience. And here we are now. Rick Sober Start seems to be making some sincere progress. I haven't seen him for a while. He seems to be off and on a bit about short bursts of sobriety, then back on it. But the relapser. Well, I was a relapser, but I was off for quite a long time. And then someone just kicked in like 2 years later. I just think, oh, I feel quite good now. I think I'll go for a drink. It never works. 60% never ever works. Rick seems to really annoy me. I don't know why. It gets a lot of views, man. It seems to be quite appealing for viewership. But if he's got problems. It affects so many people, millions. More problem drinkers in the world. It's just increasing all the time, and the press have got mixed views. Some will say people aren't drinking as much, the young aren't drinking as much. I think they are. I think there's a lot of people still drinking heavily. So we're here to help ourselves, and you've got to help yourself. Because if you forget about your health, then you're going to really regret it when you get older. You really are. What you do now is going to put in place better health outcomes in the future. Tomorrow we become addicted because of the amount we drink. If you fed a normal drinker copious amounts of alcohol over a month, they would become addicted. That would be a forced addiction. Yeah, there's a lot to be said in that, I suppose. Yeah, because we drank too much. You're probably right. I think it's quite simple as well. I think I just became, I liked it, became habit became addiction because I drank too much. It's quite a simple formula, isn't it? Urban Angst. I was lucky to find some community resources funded by the province. DBT and counselling have been very effective programs to maintain healthy patterns. And I still do the A social. That's good. Do the A as well. Dylan, yes, but for some reason I blame everything but the alcohol. Oh, I blame the alcohol for what I did. I knew I was drinking too much. And I knew I could come off with the medication. I did it. And then when I started, I felt, devastated, really, to be honest. Completely devastated. It wasn't a good thing. If you'd like to support the channel, then please do. The Buy Me Coffee links here on the right. And also, Super Chats button is on the channel. The Fres, hi everyone, hope you're all okay. Nice to see you, Fres. Hope you're well. Yeah, it's interesting that some people blame anything but not the alcohol. Well, like I say, some people drink because of trauma. I never had any trauma. Mine was just like I really fancied to drink. It seemed to be, I enjoyed the life I had. I don't think I would have drank as much if I hadn't gone to Central London. That was a big draw for me then. And because it was so glamorized, it was over glamorized there. Um, I thought I fell into that, got led astray, just carried along on the crest of a wave, It's funny. In Denmark, we have these houses where homeless and other people can live. Problem is, chronic alcoholics and drug addicts live the same place as people wanting to kick the habit. That's not good, is it? Too much conflict, I suppose. The friends, well, thanks to you. Just about to do the washing up. Keep busy. Yeah, keep busy. Keep trying. Keep moving. Because as you get older, you got to keep moving a bit as well. If you just sit, you end up sitting and get stiff, as it were. So you got to keep moving. You got to keep eating good food. Look after yourself. Be very mindful of what's going on around you. Keep your brain active, because as I said earlier, people are reaching for the calculator on their phone to add 22 and 86. You know what I'm saying? That's the problem. So we need to keep our brain top rank as well. Body alcohol affects people different. If you're deficient in vitamin D or B, you're more likely to drink heavily because of depression and anxiety caused by deficiency. I didn't know that. Maybe that's why a lot of people drink more in the north than Scotland and north. There's not so much sun, is there? It's a good point, that. Because, Scandinavia has a lot of alcohol problems, isn't it? It's dark most of the time. Dylan, I'm just 29. It's sad how I know I'll die. You've got to get off it. Why don't you get in touch with me? Go on the description of all the videos. There's a number on there. A link to one-to-one, and I'll help you. You've got to get off it. You're too young for this, carry on. A lot of us are much older than that. 29 is far too young to be poisoning your body to such a level, isn't it? You can't be on with that. You've got to get yourself well again. It's up to us all to get well again. Nobody's gonna turn things around for you. We can all encourage, but there's only one person who can stop you having that first drink, and that's yourself. And it's a conscious decision. When you're sober, and you've been sober for 6 months, you should never go back. Yeah? You should never go back. Because there's no reason to go back, is there? You're not going to have seizures back. You're sober, stay sober. That's the key. You've got to stay sober. You've got the opportunity as soon as you get sober to stay sober, haven't you? Next, every once in a while, I say if I still have the times table memorized the way we did in grade school. Yeah, it's true that I try and keep my brain alive. But I must admit, I've been reaching for the calculator recently, which I shouldn't do. Chat GPT, very helpful, because it tells you things you don't know. But you should still be aware of just do daily things. Keep maths and English up, as it were, because it can easily, slow down. Any exercise that flexes the brain can help with cravings. Well, yeah, that's a good point, yeah. Well said. Dolly, hi, Steve, hi, sober again. My restless ADHD is kicking in, eating chocolate. Keep on the chocolate, far better than alcohol. This is the thing, people get restless, get bored, and just have a drink. What's it going to do? A drink is going to put you in a whole world of problems. It really is, and you can't afford to do that. You have to stay, so we have to stay healthy and focus on that. Because if you don't focus on that, you're going to be very ill in the future. Johnny, well, I haven't seen you for a while. Johnny, hi, Steve. So I hit it again, and I was in hospital with severe injury and surgery. Well, I will try again. Anybody who thinks it's easy to stop, it's not. I came back. So don't worry about me, Johnny. I hope you get over it. What was the trigger to get back on it, Johnny? And good to see you here. Anyway, I wonder where you were. There's a few regulars haven't been on. It's a bit worried. When you hit it again, I've done it, Johnny. Don't worry about it. There's lots of us don't hit it again. Many times, in fact. And I wish I had support on channels like this when I was 29. You can get sober done. Definitely, and I totally agree. Stephanie, like Sudoku or crosswords, my friend, that uses Sudoku. Yeah, anything will do. But write a letter. Good to see Johnny back. Hit it again. Severe injury and surgery. Bloody hell. This is what happens. This is how risky it is. This the ship at night. Brian brought 3 copies. Thanks so much, Brian. He said he's finding this channel, Former Health in the Ear, which is brilliant. Thanks so much, Brian. I appreciate that. I appreciate all of your support. Fantastic endorsement for the channel. I think we've got a lot of potential here to help a lot of people, and you know, and help each other really, because it's amazing what we can do as a group. You do far more as a group than you can on your own. Because sometimes you just feel, I can't be bothered with that. You come in here, you think, well, actually, he's doing it. I'll do that. I'll do that. I'll do that. I'll do this. I'll do that. And Johnny's had a bit of a relapse there. Get back on track. It's so easy when you've relapsed to stay relapsed, if that makes sense. It's very simple, but a little problem solving is fun. It is, yeah, definitely. Stefani, good get some on the table, just unraveling yarn. You love this knitting, don't you? It's good. Hot Penny Maya, how you doing? Relapse happens when bad thoughts meet opportunity. I can minimise opportunity. I'm stuck with broken thoughts. We're gonna get your mind settled down on me. Hot Penny, definitely, because you're very lively. We'll use that somewhere. Hi Johnny, glad you've come back onwards and upwards. Definitely enough. Johnny ended up back drinking because it has a hold. It definitely is. I'm man enough to admit it. When you're alone, it gets you. Again, I'm sorry. Don't be sorry, Johnny. We're glad you're back. That's the main thing. Glad you're back. We'll help you. That's what we're here for. Get plenty of support here. Dan, sober swims. Absolutely, it's great to know you're not alone in your suffering. A problem shared truly is a problem of definitely. When you're really ill with this and active addiction, thanks Samantha for that. When you're active addiction, then you forget about what you're here for. Really. Well, thanks, Kathy, so much for that super chat. Really appreciate it. There's a thanks to you and everyone in the chat. Yeah, thanks to everybody, because I think we're all supporting each other here, aren't we? Which is very important. And it's important to be here. It's important to talk about things and be yourself, because I don't think we ever open up to the doctors, do we? They haven't got the time. It's 10 minutes in, next. Even the hospital didn't take on board when I got down in hospital because of the treatment not working. So, well, thanks so much, Kathy, for that incredible super chat, and thanks to Brian for the coffee. And any support we get is obviously well received. It keeps the channel going. It is good to know you're not alone. Yeah, 100%. Hoping I don't trust people anymore, and you like the safety of being alone. The thing is, Penny, I understand where you come from a little bit. Is that not a bit of anxiety though? Maybe, I'm not sure. Xander, you must have witnessed some horrific examples of alcoholism in the police. Oh yeah, you dealt with it every day. But you just think about the job. Your job's different to yourself, isn't it? Johnny, I forgot how I feel and want to support others. Keep moving forward, Johnny. Yeah, it's good to support others and it's good to give something back. We'll get you there, Johnny, don't we? We'll get everybody there. That's the mission. And if no need to apologise, we've done all done it. Yeah, exactly. And if we've all been there, every one of us here would have relapsed. Urban, I'm still cranky being sober. Little things that happen during the normal day. Anything that irritates me, and I'm already thinking, how can I fuzz out the feelings? But got to learn to regulate it naturally. You can do it. Yeah, you can. You've just got to make sure that you look after yourself. And on sober swims, I feel, Penny, I'm almost half a year sober, and the clarity I have on how bloody ignorant people. It drives me crazy. You want to be screaming at them. I know what you're saying. It's a lot of idiots about it. So every relapse is a relapse closer to sobriety. That's a good point. It can take a long time. Thanks so much, Johnny, for that super chat. Really appreciate that. Really, really grateful. And we'll get you back. I'm just pleased you popped in again. A few people have just gone off the radar, and it's not good to do that, because when I was drinking too much, I thought I was the only one. Until I, realised when I got in hospital, the ward was full of people like me as well. Thanks, Sander, for that amazing donation and support. I really appreciate these. It keeps things going. It keeps us. As I said, I don't think anybody else is doing these lives, and it makes such a difference to people, because it's somewhere to pop into, isn't it? Somewhere to feel recognised, I think, in a way. It's nice to just get other people's opinions, isn't it? So thanks, Johnny. Thanks, Zanna. Thanks, Kathy. Thanks, everybody. For this. It's amazing. But, focus on yourself. Focus on your health. Focus on this. Focus on the community. Focus on learning more. I've learned so much about it and horrific things. I mean, I think I'm reasonably intelligent. I didn't know how much devastation it would have, Not just to me, but other people in families and things, Other people I knew, colleagues, or even my family. And the biggest mistake you can make is to get sober and then stop doing those things that help you get sober in the first place. That's a good point, yeah. Get sober, do all these good things. And then we fall by the wayside, don't you? And everything's a mess again. Absolute mess again. You've got to focus. You have to make being sober the most important thing of the day, of your life, really. Once you learn to do that, you won't relapse. You shouldn't. But also, it's in-depth chat with me, and I'll put you in the right track. But yeah, it's a good point that big mistake you can make is to get sober and then stop doing the things that may help you sober. Don't. It's so easy though. I've done it myself. I'm not going to drink. 2 years later down the line, I'll just have one. And then you're gone again, aren't you? And the guilt and the depression and the mental and physical, bomb blast. That is just incredible. We have asked if you're a Seinfeld watcher, remember an episode when Elaine is going nuts on the subway, screaming in her head, shut up, over and over. That's mine on the bus. Yeah, I know what you're saying. So many ignorant people about, aren't there? Far too many ignorant people. Johnny, your friends are not really friends. They don't help. Your real friends are the people who are here, who have been in the situation. Again, I'm so sorry, people, but we learn from us. Don't be sorry, John. We'll get you there. We are here to help. The friends and the boozer are jealous because you're making progress. That's all it is. Really, really. I could tell you some terrible stories, but I'll go into it in a later date. But the negative people that I've been involved with has been horrific. And they become even more negative as I've progressed. You might feel the same. You will in the future, including family. So getting sober is the warm-up. Staying sober, the actual race. Very true. It's a long race. It's a marathon, isn't it? Definitely. Urban, that's a great point. That's a great point, Donna. There's this feeling that, well, I did it. Now, where's my reward? Maintaining sobriety is still hard work. It's a daily choice. It has to be a daily choice. Has to be. Kieran, sober since 30th December. End up in hospital again. Bloody hell, what happened, Kieran? Let me know what's happened there. Or if you want to share, please do. And if it doesn't just affect you, it affects everyone who loves you. And when you're dead, it continues to affect them you've left behind. Sad but true. I agree. Yeah. You don't realise, I must admit, I did realise a little bit, I just couldn't get out of it. When I was sober, when I eventually got sober for a while, then I did sort of repair a few things, if that makes sense. Then on sober swims, Urban actually meant that I had a woman leave her carrier wheelie bag. She left it in the aisle in the bus. It was a small bus, so only one person would take a walk. You know what you're saying? Some strange folk in there. Johnny, my friends were jealous. Massive problem I had with that, Johnny. They wanted to drag me back. They're now out of my life. Keep them out. You must get rid of negative people. After being sober, reality is as it is. Yeah, you've got to be. Yeah, your reality just come back. Definitely, yeah. Thanks, Stefania. All right, Magpie, I appreciate everything trying to do. I'm struggling. Okay. I said before, you got my number. That's on the description. Link to all the videos. If you need a bit of a chat. So, Mary, you're never too old to relapse. Never too old to kick the booze. Just one drink away from spiral of doom and destitution. True, you only one drink away from the big fucking mess. I don't mind swearing. It's true. It's a mess. It's horrific what's going to happen if you start drinking again. It's terrifying. It's totally terrifying. But yeah, I've lost touch with my friends since I stopped. You're right. They're jealous, trying to make you have a drink. They're jealous because they can't do what you've done. They're not clever enough, not tough enough. Simple as that. Don't worry, Stefano, you're fine. Stefano, you meant you really see it as it is. You do. You see life as it is, 100%. Then she left it in everyone's way, and I was carrying one for another lady, and I had to move it. He said it was too heavy now for her to lift out of the way for her. She moved towards the front. I know you said. Try to be helpful and get kicked back in your face, don't you? Fred, Stefano, how are you getting this evening? How are you this evening? Feeling okay? Let's hope everyone's all right. I mean, that's the main thing. Let's get back to good health, vitality, and all the rest of it. Because you never turn the clock back completely, but I feel like we can wind it up again. And as I said earlier, everything you do now that's good for your health will benefit you in the future. That should be taught in schools then. Jenny, my friends or my family. Yeah, exactly. I love my family. Friends come and go, and the family don't. I can't believe how jealous they were. I hate them now. Evil people. Anyway, I'm back again. Johnny, stick with it. You're fine. I agree with you saying I don't get on with any of the wankers I used to speak to. I can see the jealousy in their eyes. In fact, one reported me for something which I didn't even do. Dangerous people. Jealousy is a very strong emotion. Jealousy is stronger than love. Beware of these bastards. Don't mention them because that's what happened to me. You could get in a real mess with these people. So keep away from them. Cut them out of your life. Block from everything. If you see them, cross the road. Self-preservation, 100%. Some so-called friends are always going to want you on their shit if it's singing. Yeah, they love you down. They love you down. They don't like when you're getting out of it. Yes, thanks, but still feeling bad about drinking last night. A long walk tomorrow back to reality. Yeah, you can get back. You can get back. You've got to focus on your health. As I said, make that your priority. For 10 minutes a day, right? 10 minutes every day in the morning, we wake up. Set your alarm 10 minutes early and just think about how good life is going to be sober and how bad it is if you drink. It's only 10 minutes a day. Every day it'll save your life. Save your life in 10 minutes. That's it. But you know how you feel. The fear of missing out is terrible in sobriety. Just remember why you decided to get sober in the first place. We all have our reasons for stopping. People love seeing us drunk. They do. Well, they like seeing you down, you see. Their friends one day at a time, Stefano. Definitely. Thanks. I gotta say that was one of the tougher things to do. Separate from the old crowd out. You've got to do it though, for your own self-preservation. There's still a miss some folk, but they refuse to socialise anywhere in the pub. They can't go anywhere. They haven't got the bottle. They're not tough enough. For sometimes even 10 or 15 minutes. Yeah, just a few minutes a day. Morning walk every day. Focus on keeping sober. If you don't keep sober, you're going to die. Or you're going to be disabled. If you're sober, this thing I've been banging on about recently, there's only one thing I can't do now that I'm sober, and that's drink. When I was drinking, I couldn't do anything. So all you got to do is give up one thing. It's not easy, but it can be done. Jenny, thank you, Steve. I'm so grateful that you've all been good to me. Don't worry, you've nice to see you. Pleased you're back. Pleased you're back. It's been a fortune of my mates to be back with alcohol, and all they did was use me. Yeah, fuck them off. I've sworn again, but I don't mind because sometimes you've got to be hard with this. That's what the doctor said to me a couple of times. Put the F word in; it makes you waking up. I'm telling you. You've got to just get rid of these people. Get rid of the negatives. So swims are like looking at us and thinking, I drink a lot, but at least I'm not as bad as that guy. Don't be anyone's court jester. We're not here to entertain others. Look after yourself. Good message, that. So be the selfish person you know, and sobriety is easier to achieve. Stop pleasing other people. You are number one. Yeah, you've got to put yourself first. It's difficult when you're a caring person, like we are. Penny, I don't see people as jealous so much as oblivious to the plight of addiction, even their own. It's quite isolating to have this problem in the world. It is. It can be isolating. I'd rather be isolated and healthy than be king of the pub and die. You know what I'm saying? Or be disabled by. I was disabled by it. Mentally and physically, I couldn't do anything. No, I do everything. Well, everything within reason. I'm not going to No, abseiling again. I've done it before. I probably could do abseil actually. And thanks for the chat, people. Johnny, stay strong. Yeah, you must stay strong. Ring, Steve. We're all rooting for you and everyone who needs help. Night all. Cheers, Steve. Thanks for moderating. So, yeah, thanks for coming on every night. It makes a big difference. I don't rely on you. Dirty people pleasing is not good, as you end up putting yourself last. Yeah. King of the pub, I was. I actually live in the pub. We lived in pubs. That's what the Irish say. We don't just drink in pubs, we live in pubs. Punky laters, mate. Apologies for leaving the live. YouTube was running an update. No problem. We're gonna pack it in. I'm gonna knock it off in a minute. I've got an early start. So it's from Johnny Wilkinson. Don't keep apologising, mate. Just keep showing up for yourself. First thing you can help. First, then you can help others. Yeah, that's exactly what the doctor said to me. Look after yourself first, and you can help others. Funny how I feel it would be all right to give friends a chance, but first, after a long time, if they really progress, not relapse again. I do the same something when lonely, contacting old drink buddies. We try not to, you see. Boundaries are also hard to enforce in this world of takers. True. First, yes, Steve, do an upsell last week. Well, I'm going to Africa in 2 weeks with my fiance. So we'll do a couple of hours over there, which are going to make me take the laptop, so we'll have to, which will be quite exciting. I've never been over there. I've never done a long haul. So it'll be a new thing for me. So we'll keep in touch over there as well. I'm looking forward to the live stream upselling, definitely from somewhere nice. I know that. And okay, well, thanks to everyone for coming on. Thanks to all the donations and support, I should say, and the coffee Brian and the great super chats. Keep going, Johnny. Good to see you back. Nice to see everybody here. 40 odd people at one point, which is really good. And thanks to everybody for watching. I know not everyone comments, but thanks for everybody who watches, everybody comments, everybody shares, and all that sort of thing. It makes a massive difference to me that I'm here to help people, and I think we're all helping each other, which is the key, isn't it? You don't know what's about. Caitlin Thomas, her alcoholic husband, was well supported. Dylan Thomas, really, it's very interesting. She was a heavy drinker too. It hits a lot of people, a lot of clever people. Urbanized Johnny, stay connected in the recovery community online, and also find any in-person programs. Well said. Look, Master, great channel. Always enjoyed your stories and kindness. Thanks, Luke. As an Irish person, it becomes our home for the weekends. English people do love a boozy lunch more than us, so defence, never heard of it until I went to the UK. Boozy lunch. Hi, Johnny. Does anyone here think I'm a failure? Not at all. You're strong as knocks to come on here. A lot of people wouldn't even come back. I'll be honest, I'm a fighter, and it took some effort to get me to talk here. Well, you've done well. There's no judgments here, man. Not at all. So you're back in the game. Okay, Johnny, back in the game. But take us to the liver ward on a video. Yeah, I've tried to get in the NHS, who won't let me in. Stefania on death still has no dominion. True. Thanks for the live stream. Thanks, Urban. Thanks, Stephen, everyone. Kathy, I always drank alone, just as bad or worse than losing the bar friends. Yeah, it's horrendous, Kathy. Thanks again for your amazing support. Everybody else has supported. You're a winner, Johnny, definitely. Johnny, don't even care what others think. Good night and bless. Okay, we're going to say good night now. And thanks so much for being here, for all your support as always, and for the support written, and for everybody else who comes in to join. And any questions, drop me a line. And well done to Johnny, and well done to Samara and all the rest. Thanks you for tuning up, chatting, make the channel successful. Thanks very much, Samara. Thanks to you. Thanks for tuning up. You make the channel successful. Thanks so much. Appreciate that, Johnny. Speak soon. Bless you all. And thanks, Johnny. See you soon. What we do. And you know where I am if you need anything urgent. See you later. Take care. Thanks for your help. Take care. Bye. Cheers.